Fuck wrong with you, boy? You know what time it is, nigga. Better watch how you step in. Yeah. But that was my nigga. Yeah. I'm in you. Got my nigga Rewan with me. But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor. You know what I'm saying? Under commanding General Yana. I love all of my niggas, that shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home, that's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown, I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my Hakim gon' let him have it. Hey, think you the shit, this truth the shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it, ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talking shit, yeah, I know they can't stand us, but we UPK, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm reppin'. And my niggas solid, number real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start steppin'. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood. I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapped in the gutter. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For why take your life or let you take mine? That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves, the shit got me feeling plain. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complexion. Still fighting to get accepted, we hear the truth and reject it. But love is getting corrected, and all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Fuck wrong with you, boy?
Alright, go ahead and clap it up. Alright, Shalom Israel with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. Alright, we're not affiliated with any other Israelite group nor any Christian organization. Alright, with that, I'm preaching Officer 5000 Yerusha Shema, and we're going to get into the Feast of Purim. Alright, the Feast of Purim is very important. Does anybody know what the Feast of Purim is about? Anyone online or in class, y'all can raise your hands. Someone tell me what is the Feast of Purim? What is it about? Let's see who's been in this truth. Let's find out. Online, you can go ahead. Officer Yagadar, you're excluded. Priest Officer Yagadar cannot answer. So anyone else, feel free. Go ahead, Officer Kosovo.
Sister Esther.
Khan. Most High in Christ. Sister Esther, Most High in Christ. Con. I see the very awesome Mataza. Okay, Raya. You could have raised your hand and said it. No sweat. You in class tonight. We got brothers and sisters in class tonight. No sweat. You could have answered. Go ahead, Sister Nana.
They one of the kings wanted to kill the Jews.
That's close. That is close. But yes, I'll give it to you, but it wasn't the king. But we're going to get into that though.
Okay.
Right. But that is true. You're referring to Haman. Right. Yeah. All right, Haman. Does anybody know what ethnicity or race Haman was? Someone go in the Bible and look up that precept of what Haman is. Also, Yakadar, you can answer that. Go ahead and give me the precept of what ethnicity or race Haman was. And anyone in class, if y'all know, y'all let me know. Go ahead, y'all feel free.
Persian?
He wasn't Persian. He wasn't Persian. But this was during the Persian and Mede Empire. If you can, also we're gonna get into the topic too as well. Also Mataza, if you may, give me Esther 2:17. All right. This is about Feast of Purim, the sister Esther. What she did was absolutely powerful for the nation of Israel. And this is why we have this memorial service, right, in her honor. Because of how great she was, all right, and the things that she did for the nation of Israel, that some sisters and some brothers don't even know today, because our oppressor took us from our heritage and took us further away from our heritage and culture and the customs that the Lord passed down to us. Go ahead. So you got it?
Come on, sir.
Go ahead. Read.
This is Esther chapter 2, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
And the king loved Esther above all the women.
Now the king, this is King Artaxerxes or King Ahasuerus. All right? Artaxerxes. Has anybody ever watched the movie 300? Anyone familiar with the movie of 300?
Come.
Allow me to explain. Artaxerxes, he's like a relative, and I believe down the line of Xerxes. All right, so that king that you've seen, the Persian king that you've seen in 300, that's his family line. That's a part of his family tree. So Artaxerxes, he comes from that. The Bible is an actual history book, all right? It's a record of a certain nation or race of people. We know this, right? And this is where you're going to find our customs and culture right here. All right, a lot of people love to say, oh, the Bible's not real. The Bible is just a made-up story. Well, I don't know. I don't think they've actually, of course, we all know they haven't even opened up the Bible. The ones who say, oh, the Bible is made up, it's just a bunch of stories and it's good ways to live by, mind you, the ones who say it, they don't even live by it. They say, oh, these are good words to live by, but you don't even live by the words that you're saying they're good words to live by. And then they have the audacity to say that this is just a collection of stories and it's made up. No sweat. Well, when we open up the Bible, because we actually read the Bible, there's actual historic figures in here. Alexander the Great, Xerxes, give me another, Caesar, Julius Caesar, Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? There's actual people who existed. All right. And so it says, and the king loved Esther above all. It says above all the women. All right. Now, if you don't know Esther was a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American woman. All right. She comes from the 12 tribes of Israel. Anyone take a look at that board behind you. All right. Those are the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. Find your tribe where you come from. All right. And that's who you are. So if you are so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American, you are God's chosen people. Now, to go back to Esther, that's who she was. Now, we all know Black, Hispanic, and Native American women are extremely beautiful. Woo-wee. You know, I love me some Black, Hispanic, and Native American women. Can't get enough of them, and I never will. Now, I don't know about y'all. Now, the Christians, I don't think they even like women nowadays. Nowadays, you know, Christians don't even like women. You know, they like Salakia. Yeah, out here being power bottoms. Power tops. Right, you know, have you ever been swallowed up? That's the Christian church for you. I don't know, man. I don't know, TD Jakes. I don't know. I don't think I want to find out either. All right, but Black, Hispanic, and Native American women are extremely beautiful. All right, and this is who Esther was. She was a very beautiful woman, and the king saw that. All right. If you look at the Black, Hispanic, and Native American sisters today, you'll see why. I don't blame them. All right. I don't blame them for choosing Esther. All right. Go ahead.
Come. And she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins.
More than what?
More than all the virgins.
More than what?
More than all the virgins.
Can someone tell me what a virgin is? All right. What is a virgin? Go ahead, Officer Cole.
A woman of marriageable age.
Give the brother a hand. All right. Give the brother a hand. Of marriageable age. That's what a virgin is. I understand the Christian church may have taught you that a virgin is someone who hasn't had relations. All right. Someone who hasn't had sex. All right. That song from Salt and Pepper back in the day. That was a big hit. All right. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is. All right. That's not what it is. The Christian church lied to you. I apologize if I'm breaking some hearts out here. All right. But you can still be a virgin even though you are married to a man. It just means a woman of marriageable age or just a young woman. That's all that is. All right. Just a woman of marriageable age or a young woman has nothing to do if you have relations or not. All right. Everybody understand that?
Okay.
So when the Bible talks about Mary being a virgin, it's not that she didn't have relations with Joseph. It was the fact that she was just a young woman of marriageable age. All right. So understanding that the definition of what a virgin is imperative to know what the Bible is talking about. The best book you can get right here is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Right. Buy this book. It has a lot of information in there and it has the definition of words that you may not understand in the Bible. Because when you open up the Bible, you're not going to understand everything. I promise you're not. You know what I'm saying? I still look at scripture sometimes and be like, I don't know what that is. You know.
Okay.
And the best thing you can do coming into the school is wiping Christianity all the way out. You know what I'm saying? You want to erase Christianity out of your mind, all right? For some of you brothers out there, I know y'all may have heard of Hebrew Academy, but it's going to get the little bit of Christianity out of you. I promise you it will. And I will make sure it does. Make sure you guys are there. You understand?
Okay.
Just get the little whatever. Let's continue. Read the scripture. I like it.
All
right.
So that he set the royal crown upon her head.
Now this was the royal crown because she was just so beautiful and so amazing. She was the best. You understand? She was the cream of the crop when it came to Black, Hispanics, and Native American sisters. All right. He was just infatuated with Esther. Go ahead.
And made her queen instead of Vashti.
And made her what?
Her queen instead of Vashti.
Salaki, if you can, y'all may not know who Vashti is. Go to the first chapter. Let's get that. Let's get the whole situation of why he did what he did, and then we're gonna come back. So hold that. Also cost apart. Get it in it's in Esther chapter 1 and find it. If you find it first, sometimes I'll just give him the scripture. It's somewhere in Esther chapter 1. Might be in like 17, somewhere near there. Y'all let me know.
This is first reference in just something referencing her. Also reference.
Absolutely. All right. Because we need to know this information. This information is essential. All right. Now, once again, this is a memorial for the sister Esther, right? Now I know some of y'all out there, y'all say the UPK don't give a damn about women, and you say we hate women back here. Well, that ain't the truth. Whatever you heard, that ain't true. We love women back here. All right. We love all Black, Hispanic, and Native American women back here. And the Lord loves women so much, right, that there's even a day about it, sister, because of the actions and the contributions that she gave for the children of Israel. And I want y'all sisters to pay attention to what she did because it's absolutely amazing. You got that scripture for me? Talking about Queen Vashti?
It's starting and see her name first appears in chapter 1 verse 9.
All right, let's start from there. We can start from there.
The book of Esther, chapter 1 verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Vashti, the queen made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to King Xerxes.
Queen Vashti, all right, it's right there plain and day. She made a feast for all the women that are in the palace. All right, go ahead.
Verse 10. On the seventh day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine.
Now, the king was married with wine. You know, we all get happy and glad when we drinking and having a good time. So he was having a good time. He was nice, relaxed. He took the edge off, whatever the case may be. Go ahead.
He commanded Mehun, Bigtha, Harbona, Bigtha, and Abagtha, Zitha, and Carcass,
Mm-hmm.
the seven chamberlains that served in the presence of Xerxes, the king.
Right.
Verse 11. To bring Vashti, the queen, before the king with the crown royal.
Now, these were the chamberlains, meaning these are the ones who, a chamberlain is someone who's under the king who does the work for the king. He's like his advisors and things like that. That's what a chamberlain is. And they were ordered to get the Queen Vashti. All right, go ahead.
To show the people and the princes her beauty.
Because she was also a beautiful woman. All right, she was a beautiful woman. She had some beauty on her, and he wanted to show her off because that's what heathens do. All right, they like to show their women off. You know what I'm saying? All right, we don't show our women off. All right, you know, our sisters are just there, and sometimes just them being there is a show off. That's just what it is. That's just how it's going to happen. We don't show our sisters off out here. Here's the thing. As a brother, you don't really want to show your sister off. You want to show your red bulb as if she's like, you know, some piece of meat on the auction block. You really don't want to do that. All right. If you have any wisdom, all right, or if you have any brains or smarts, you don't want to show your wife off because now what you're doing is you're giving the opportunity to other brothers to look on your woman in a way that you would not want them to look at her as. And of course, you know, what do they call it? They call it a flex. That's what it is. It's like, okay, you got the baddest girl, the baddest woman. Mind you, she's damn near naked. That's the only reason why she's bad. She don't got nothing on. Any woman's bad with no clothes on, I guess. All right. So I mean, whatever. Okay. So you know, I guess you know, who is it gonna look? Who is it gonna want to taste or whatever? So now you showing her off, and then you know she's getting all this attention, and now you get upset when she's getting all this attention. She's getting all these views on Facebook and Instagram, and getting all these DMs. And you know, you talking about this is my girl. Look how big her tail is, and all this other type of stuff. You wish you had this. Well, there's a brother that's going to get it. You saying you wish you had this. There's a brother that's going to get it. And then guess what happens? He gets it. There's a brother that gets it. And now you so upset at the woman or at your woman because she done, you know, what they call it, cheating. You know, I hate that word. Oh my God, I hate that shit. It's blasphemous. That word is blasphemous to me. But, you know, she cheated on you. And so now you're hurt, you're upset. And I'm like, brother, this was bound to happen. You was out there flexing. Well, this is what flexing gets you. You know, that's what flexing gets you. So if you're a wise brother out there, or, you know, if you don't know this information, I wouldn't do it. Don't show off your woman and try to flex. It's not worth it. Right? Unless you love men having sex with your woman. I mean, if that's what you want, then, you know, then flex away. All right? Flex away. But, you know, not also your ass. So, like it. Go ahead, continue reading that.
For she was fair to look on.
And she was fair to look upon. She was beautiful. Go ahead.
Verse 12. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlain.
Now she refused to go. She said, I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? She said no to this man, to the king, to her husband. Okay, well, that's on her. Let's find out. Go ahead.
Therefore was the king very wroth.
Go ahead.
And his anger burned in him.
Naturally, any man is going to get upset. Now, this is another nation or race of people, all right, or another ethnicity. But any man is going to be upset when his woman doesn't listen to him. That's normal. That's natural. All right. So he's upset. He's burning with rage. Like, how dare you not listen to me when I requested you? Go ahead.
Verse 13. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the time.
Go ahead.
For so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment.
So now I said, then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, because these men, they're wise, meaning they knew the times. They knew, when I mean knew the times, not like, oh, it's 12 o'clock, 13 o'clock. They knew the times, meaning they knew what's going on. They're very wise. They know information that not everyone else knows, all right? They know certain things. They know how the king is. They know how the people are. They know what comes of this. They know a lot. Go ahead.
Lucky, would there be another example of the Bible talking in slang, as in you know what time it
Exactly. You know what? Exactly. Give the brother a hand. Remember, the Bible is black. All right. When we say we know what time it is, we ain't talking about it's 8 o'clock. All right. Usually, when we say you know what time it is, it means several things. Actually, several. You know what I'm saying? I can't go through them all. I mean, the most common one, because I used to be violent. You know what time it is. That means it's time to get down. That's what I knew.
Go down.
Yeah, it's about to go down. You know what time it is. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead,
Verse 14. And the next unto him was Karshina, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Meres, Marcina, and Memucan,
Mm-hmm.
the 7 princes of Persia and Media.
Now remember, this is taking place during the Persian and Medes Empire. All right, like I said, remember Xerxes and the 300, like that was the Persian and Medes Empire. If you go into history, the Persian and Medes actually existed, and they were a very strong empire during a certain time, during the BC times, of course. And the so-called Persian and Medes, these are your so-called East Indians today. That's the Persian and Medes, all right? So that's why when you looked at, when you watch the movie 300, Xerxes, he kind of looks like a East Indian. That's because that's who the Persians were, all right? Our oppressor will put a bunch of history in front of your face and you're not going to realize it, all right? It's up to you to do some studying and some research to realize what he's trying to tell you. All right, go ahead.
Which saw the king's face, and which set the first in the kingdom.
Go ahead.
Verse 15. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to law?
So now, of course, according to their law, it's not talking about, God's laws, statutes, commandments. It's talking about the law of Persia, all right, the Persian and Medes. They're asking, okay, this is, what should we do about this? Because this is something serious, right? They know the king. They know what time it is. They know what's going on. They've seen the king's face. They see how angry and mad he is. He's infuriated. What are we going to do? Go ahead.
Because she have not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains.
All right, Ahasuerus is also Artaxerxes. All right, that's who that is. All right, same person. All right, and now of course she didn't obey the king. All right, and also this was her husband on top of that. So go ahead.
Verse 16. And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti, the queen, have not done wrong to the king only.
So hold on. So no, that's the law. So she didn't just do wrong to the king only. All right. Now I want you to pay attention to this. She didn't just do something wrong to the king. That's what they're saying. This wasn't just something she did to the king. Go ahead.
But also to all the princes.
Mm-hmm.
And to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
Now there we go. This is bigger than what she thought. She could have just went, right, and just did what she had to do. But now she didn't realize you didn't just disrespect the king. You disrespected the princess and whoever was in charge during the Persian and Medes. This is a serious matter at this point. Because now you have someone disobeying orders from a king. All right? That's a serious thing. If someone's in charge and someone doesn't obey an order, that can cause a lot. That can cause a lot of chaos, could it not? If you have someone in charge and he has all the power and someone says, no, I'm not going to do it, you can't just let that slide. Because if you let that slide, you're going to have to let other things slide. And now there's going to be just a bunch of disorder and no one following orders. So now we're about to find out what they're going to do. Go ahead.
Verse 17. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women.
Shall do what?
Shall come abroad unto all women.
Say that one more time.
Shall come abroad unto all women.
This deed is going to be known by all women that she did not listen to her husband or the king. All right? Now, we're about to find out. Keep reading.
so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes.
That they shall what?
Despise,
Shall what?
despise,
Shall what?
despise.
Not following orders from your man is you despising your husband. Does everybody understand that? Every other race and nation of people understood this, all right? And so did we when we had God's laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we are teaching sisters and bringing Black, Hispanic, and Native American women back to God's laws, statutes, and commandments, and the customs and the heritage that He passed down to us, so we can teach them that, hey, when you do not listen to your husband, when you don't obey the things that your husband tells you, you really despise him.
Okay.
That's not something you want to do. Our sisters have been encouraged to believe and to do that they can do bad all by themselves, and they don't have to listen to their man. Our oppressor taught us that nonsense, even though on the back end, they're not doing it themselves. Those, what we call them, she-saws, all right, those Beckys and those Alyssas and whatever their names are, I don't know, I can name them all right? Lillians and Liliths and whatever the hell their names are, all right, Skylers, whatever they are, they go back to their husband, all right, and they listen to their man. That's what they do, all right, because they understand how important it is to first have a man and also to listen to a man, all right? The majority of the leaders of America are men for a reason, because they know and understand how important it is, how important a man is in society. That's why with some of y'all, some of the women's rights movement, all the other type of stuff, it's crazy. Now, let me explain. We are perfectly fine with women going to work and making money, and also making more money. Please, make more money than me. I don't care. All right? I don't care. Please, bring back the $100,000 to me. No shame in my game. You know what I'm saying? Make the money. You understand? It's right. Be the CEO if that's what you're gonna do. Do it. All right. We are okay. We are okay with women being CEOs of companies and all other type of stuff, and being entrepreneurs and being able to make the same wages as men do. That's fine. All right. That's fine. That's the part of women's rights is okay. The problem with other parts of women's rights is when a woman doesn't want to have a man, or if she has one, doesn't listen to him, and she can just do what she wants. That's the part of women's rights that we don't like. Like, that's crazy. All right. And this right here is what it is. No other nation of people is really going to teach their women that they don't need a man. You understand? Or not listen to men. That's why you'll never see. Listen, it's beyond me. It's funny. You will never see any American man or any American, I could say, commercial saying, "Oh, we don't need men in the military. We got women that can now join the military." Where's the commercials for men not joining the military? Because everyone knows that you need men to protect the nation. Can women join the military? Of course. But everyone knows those men are essential. There are barely any women Navy SEALs. There's a reason. There's a reason to that. What woman is in infantry in the Marine Corps? How many? Not many.
Okay.
Not many. You know why? Because everyone knows you need men to protect the nation. All right. The majority of these, Navy, Air Force, Marine commercials are what? A bunch of men getting dirty and killing and doing all kinds of network stuff. Go ahead.
Like I said, if I could, when you talking about how the other nations understand this, you think about when Donald Trump was running against Hillary Clinton.
Right.
As much as the so-called feminist movement and she saw was out there promoting that, most of the oppressors women voted for Donald Trump, even though there was another woman running.
Right, because the women of our oppressor understand why a man should be in charge. All right, the entire nation was against a woman being president. Now, we're not saying a woman isn't ever going to be a president in America. Who knows? We don't really give a goddamn. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter to us. But it's for sure every other nation and ethnic group understands why a man should be in charge, and this is a serious matter in the Persian and Medes. You cannot despise your husband. You cannot just not listen to the orders that your husband tells you. You are to obey your husband. Other nations understood that, and so did we, and we need to come back to that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, verse 17, in the middle of this precept, when it shall be reported, the king, Ahasuerus, commanded Vashti, the queen, to be brought in before him, but she came not.
But it was going to be reported that when he asked for her, she did not come. Once again, this is going to cause turmoil. Now, of course, what happens is once you see one woman not do something, then other women get the spirit to also do it too as well. All right, and that's why the women's rights movement and the feminist movement was able to just, flourish the way it did, because a few women started to do it, then everyone started to go on board. Then of course there's so many other things I can talk about, but I don't want to hog up the lesson when it comes to Esther. All right, I want to get to Esther. All right, that's why we can talk about the feminist movement later if y'all care, but let's get to Esther. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 18. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen. Thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath.
There we go. So it's going to cause a bunch of chaos, of course, because now women are going to get I guess you could say, the aspiration to be like, oh, now I'm not going to listen to my husband, now this, that. To make a long story short, all right, Queen Vashti got the hell up out of there. The king had to get rid of Vashti, all right? He was like, nah, this tripping, we got to, that's it. Right? He was like, that's it. We got to, Now, of course, for y'all brothers out there, if your wife is wilding, you are not to throw her away or get rid of her, all right? The Persian and Medes can do that, and that's what works for them. But if you come into this truth, and even if you don't know about it, divorce is not lawful. You're not to leave your wife, all right? You can't leave your wife. You got to stay with your wife for the rest of your life, all right? That's a decision you made, and that's also a decision she made. And she has to also make the decision to never leave you, all right? She opens up her legs to you, that, everything, I can take up the time, all right? I can go into that too as well. But we're going to talk about Esther. Let's go back to Esther, you know what I'm saying? All right, let's talk about Esther. Before your Rosh mouth goes on a rant about women's rights.
Come on, going to verse 18, sir.
Somewhere. Just give me
somewhere.
Okay.
So this is Esther chapter 2, verse 18. Then the king made a great feast unto all his princes and his servants.
Because Esther didn't say no. All right, that's why. He's making a great feast. She's wonderful. She's great. Because Esther didn't say no. She knew how to obey someone who she's underneath. All right? Go ahead.
Even Esther's feast.
Esther said what?
Even Esther's feast.
Now, Esther had a feast because of how beautiful and great and wonderful she was. The king made a feast about her. Now, when it says Esther's feast, this is not referring to Purim. All right? Just know this isn't referring to Purim. There's an actual scripture that refers to Purim, and we're going to get to that, of course, but this is not it. This is just a feast for Esther that the king made because he's infatuated with his wife that he has. Okay? All right, go ahead. Now, of course, I may not be able to cover it today, but just know, yes, King Ahasuerus and Esther, they were married. All right? Now, we teach that interracial marrying is against the Bible. Okay. This is why this was so, it was kept where it was, all right? It was so frowned upon, that, because this was a rare situation, all right? This was actually detrimental, all right? But it also worked in our favor, which we're going to talk about, all right? But just know, I'm saying this to say this, for any fake Israelite out there, all right? I do not want to hear you bring up that King Ahasuerus and Esther were married, and that gives you the right, all right, or the freedom or the liberty to go marry some women outside of your race. That does not give you the liberty. If you come to me and you try to debate me, all right, about, King Ahasuerus and Artaxerxes and Esther were married, so I can go ahead and just get you the white girl, man. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Leave me alone. I don't really care. Go wear your fringes on your shirt. I know where you got them at. Give them back to your grandma's carpet. All right. You took the fringes off your grandma's rug. All right, or what was that joint? What's that joint called on the diner table that grandma had? You know, the little French the tap.
The tassel.
Give it back to grandma. All right, give it back to grandma. All right, it's not, you know, enjoy your white women if that's what you want, but leave me alone. Don't. I don't know, man. I don't know. God damn it. All right, go ahead. Who's this? Who was that guy that started stealing the company? You are. Oh, who the hell is Blacksmith? I'll block him later.
Good night.
Whatever.
Keep going.
Please.
And he made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king.
Now, this is just their celebration. It's not this, not that. That's what's going on. Go ahead.
Verse 19. And when the virgins were gathered together the second time,
go ahead.
Then Mordecai sat in the king's gate.
Now, does anybody know who Mordecai is? I'm kind of skipping in different parts because I want to be able to go over certain sections so you guys get the breakdown of Esther. The reason why, make sure you guys are taking your notes. There's a reason why I want to make sure who's Mordecai? Who's Mordecai? Does anyone know who Mordecai is? Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
I know he was an Israelite.
You damn right. You're right. I can't say you're wrong. Give the sister a hand. Can you give me some more scotch for shot? All right. So now, yeah, and that is yes, that's exactly it. He was an Israelite. Now, in particular, Mordecai was the uncle of Esther. All right. Mordecai was the wife. All right. Mordecai was the uncle, all right, of Esther, and he was not just in the Persian and Medes captivity, but he was also in the Babylonian captivity as well. He served two captivities, all right? He served in the Babylonian captivity and the Persian Medes captivity. I may actually hit that scripture later. I may or may not. It depends if it pops up. All right? All right. Go ahead.
Verse 20. Esther had not yet showed her kindred nor her people.
Go ahead.
As Mordecai had charged her.
Now, all of these things that's going on, Mordecai, right? Because Esther followed orders. Something that sisters need to learn today is learn how to follow orders from a man. All right. No thanks to Christianity, our oppressors, why our sisters do not listen to men. All right. A lot of our sisters believe because of Christianity, they don't have to listen to a man. No man rules over me and all this other type of stuff. I'm literally praying to the Most High that I stay on topic and not go into these women's churches. All right. But we get it. All right. Continue.
For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai.
The Lord wants me to pull it out. The Lord wants me to pull the damn scripture. That's what it is. That's just what it is. I can't fight the will of God, can I? Give me Genesis chapter 3 verse 16. Give me Genesis chapter 3 verse 16. It's important to follow orders from a man of your sister, all right? And there's a lot of things that the Lord puts in place so you can realize why you are to listen to a man. And the only reason why Esther was able to do the things that she did because she had such a great father who was Mordecai. Mordecai was like a father unto Esther. All right, that was her uncle, but he raised her. Put that into your notes as well. Mordecai raised Esther. All right, and this is why she was so good at following orders. I want you to understand, all right, if you're a black woman out there, Hispanic, Native American women, all right, a lot of other great black Hispanic American women are great the way they are is because they had a great man in their life. You understand? All right. At one point in time, I know you've probably seen a bunch of sisters back in the day getting those degrees and getting those, things. That's because they had fathers and mothers in the home and pushing them to achieve greatness.
Okay.
All right. That black woman who got our oppressor to the moon, she had a great father. You understand? The woman who was it Shirley Jackson, the fiber optic woman who, the reason why we have cell phones today. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know, also Yerashimaf, that is my trade. I work with fiber optics. I'm an electrician. I work on various kind of systems because I guess I enjoyed building robots at one point. And I had no idea I'm doing all these things. And black men and women created these things. All right. Some of y'all love playing video games. Some of y'all love playing video games so goddamn much, you don't want to get off the game. Your wife could be naked in front of you. I don't understand it, by the way. I don't understand. Your wife could be completely naked in front of you, and you're on the Xbox game, and you don't want to get off. That's crazy. Some of you brothers are wilding out there. I don't know what it is, but we're about to find out. You got that preset for me? All right.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 16.
Go ahead.
Unto the woman, he said.
Now here we go. I tried Akim, Salaki. I really did. I tried, but I guess I had to pull it. The Lord said so much about commanding this, commanding that, follow orders, all this other stuff, so I had to pull it. It said what again?
Unto the woman.
Now the Lord is talking to the woman at this point. Go ahead. Now this is the Adam and Eve, all right, and now he's talking to Eve and explaining things to Eve. Go ahead. Now put
chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman.
Now put this into your notes too, so you guys understand this as well, because this is a good precept. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception.
Now he said he will greatly multiply thy sorrow. All right, what is sorrow? You understand what does it mean? I'll greatly multiply thy sorrow. Say that one more time, Mark. Repeat it from the top.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
Unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow.
Go ahead.
And thy conception.
He said, I will greatly. He said, I will greatly. You understand? I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. It says, and thy conception. So when it says sorrow, someone give me, what does sorrow mean? Anybody. Go ahead. Officer Mataz Al-Karam.
So like I said, this is from the Merriam-Webster. It says deep distress, sadness, or regret, especially for the loss of someone or something loved.
Now let me explain something to y'all sisters. Y'all wondering why y'all so goddamn emotional. Well, here's why. Here's why. Sometimes sisters are so emotional at times they just start crying out of nowhere. I mean, I've dealt with sisters like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh wow, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, this happened out of nowhere. What's going on? You know? And the sister's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, I don't know. You know? I found the truth, and now I know. I know. I greatly multiply thy sorrow. That's what the Lord said. You understand? It said, in what? After sorrow.
And thy conception.
And thy conception. You understand? Now, everyone knows. Does everybody know what conception is? Officer Carson, tell me what conception is.
The conception of a child.
Exactly. All right. And then he's going to explain it. Continue reading.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
Now, in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. Now, I've seen what sisters go through on that table. I'll be in sorrow too. You know what I'm saying? Listen, let me tell you something. And it's such a beautiful thing when sisters be on that table. They are so much in pain. As a man, you look at it, you in pain. You know what I'm saying? That's how great the pain is. She crying, you crying. You just do it. You know what I'm saying? It's such a beautiful thing. And, if you have the opportunity, definitely go and be there, all right, for your woman. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful sight that you can see, all right? Go ahead.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband.
And it said what?
Thy desire shall be to thy husband.
Now, can someone tell me why is the Lord saying this? Anybody, someone tell me. It's not a trick question, y'all. I'm just, y'all can give me your answers. But why is the Lord saying, and thy desire, right, shall be to thy husband? Y'all getting crickets. Y'all don't know? What's going on? Go ahead. What does that mean? Y'all, go ahead. Why is the Lord saying that?
Like just right here or the...
It can be the grand scheme of things. That's fine.
Okay, come.
Go ahead.
When the fact that Eve was deceived by the serpent, and how she was brought sin into the world. Now your desire has to be to your husband.
Exactly.
To basically be under his leadership.
Right. Give the brother a hand. That's absolutely correct. Like, this is why the Lord is saying these things, all right? Because it's imperative. Now, let me give y'all some more, all right? And I want, this is for the sisters, all right? Every time you give birth, let that be a reminder. The Lord is trying to remind you why it's important for you to listen to your husband, that your entire desire should be unto your husband. That's the reason why you're in sorrow in childbirth. The Lord wants you to remember the fact that You had to have relations with a man to get here. You didn't get here by yourself. I understand today in our oppressive society, you can take a syringe and boom, now you're pregnant. That's not, yeah, whatever. All right. Let's talk about how you really get pregnant and how you really have children. The Lord is reminding you every time you are giving up your life as a woman when you're on that table. You can die at any moment. The Lord wants you to remember that feeling. So when you finally hold that child, you understand that you are willing to sacrifice your life for that child. That's the responsibility as a mother. You need to have that responsibility forever, for the rest of your life. Children never get old. I pray you understand. All right. Go ahead. Continue reading.
And he shall rule over thee.
And he shall rule over thee. So every time you're on that table and you give birth, just remember, I'm going through this because a man did this. And he is to rule over me. And my desire is to be to him. Just as a sister, just remember that. And this is why Esther was able to listen to Mordecai, because she was raised to understand something like this. She was able to understand, hey, that's a man. All right. I need to respect him. All right. I need to listen to him. I need to obey him. Does everybody understand? Am I making sense? All right. Yeah, we don't got no women's rights movements in here. Are you sure? You're not going to start rebelling. All right. No sweat. All right. Go ahead. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead and go back to Esther.
Come on, sir. This is Esther, second chapter of Esther, verse 20, the latter part. Or would you like me to start from the top?
You can start from the top.
Come on. Esther had not yet showed her kindred nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her.
Because this was an order. Go ahead.
For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai.
Because she knows how to follow orders. She understands how important a man is to society. All right? Because a man is important. All right? I know some of us were taught that a man isn't important, but a man is extremely important to society. All right? Now, does that mean women are not important? God forbid. Women are extremely important. All right? Women are the majority of any species. All right? But you need men. All right? What is you know what? I'm gonna try to record it. Let's get to Esther. Go ahead and just finish out 17.
We are at verse 20.
Oh, we are at verse 20. I'm sorry, so I can finish out 20.
Come on. Like as when she was brought up with him.
Like as when she was brought up with him. So once again, this is also proof that Mordecai, it also says, I believe, in Esther 1, in chapter 1. But here's another precept to let you know that he raised her. All right? That's the reason why she did it. Like as when she was brought up with him. All right? This is how he raised her. This is how he trained her up. All right? The Bible talks about training up a child. All right? Now, for some of y'all disbelievers out here, I know some of y'all just, I don't know what it is. I don't know how, I don't get it. Parents believe that when they raise their kids, their kids are going to grow up to not listen to them. It's like one day when your kid turns a certain age, they're not going to hold on to what you teach them. So what's the point of teaching them and training them? Has anyone heard that before? Has anyone ever heard those kind of conversations where children, you have?
So like I said, I've heard people say, well, they're going to do what they're going to do anyway.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all heard that before where, they're going to do what they want anyway? Well, that's crazy. Because by them doing, I guess anything that they're going to do anyway, that's exactly how you train them. So you trained them this. Like, I don't know what man or woman in the Black community isn't Christian. And their parents are Christian too. Why is that? Why didn't they rebel against Christianity? Why is that the one thing that they didn't, everything else I guess they rebelled against, But why didn't they rebel against Christianity? Why didn't they rebel against not washing dishes? Or cleaning up the room? Why didn't they rebel against that? But if you tell them to, not be an unaliver, then they're going to rebel against that, so happily. You tell them to not be some, I guess a blood or a crip, that's what they're going to rebel against. But for some reason, they still wash dishes to this day. At least I would hope so. But, you guys get my point. You know, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. Keep teaching your kids, all right? Have faith in the Lord that when you train your child, they're not going to let go of it. And even if they're in the world by themselves, even though they shouldn't have to be, but in our environment and atmosphere, sometimes they're in the world by themselves. Yes, you are to have faith and trust that they're going to hold on to the things you taught them. But if you don't teach them at all, then they're definitely not going to hold on to anything. And they will do things that you don't want them to do. And then you're going to call me and talk about how, oh, this is that and this is that. And I'm going to look at you like, oh, sorry, sis, that's crazy. You know? Should have whooped his ass. I mean, Salakia. Let's go to Salakia. Let's go to Salakia. Damn. Go to Esther 5:1. Salakia. Almost lost it. So Esther 5:1.
This is Esther chapter 5, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel.
Now, I'm skipping a little ahead. Like I said, I'm trying to get you guys to understand the parts of Esther. All right. And so now this is when Esther is asking the king for a request. And throughout this chapter, it should explain you why. All right. If not, definitely the ones I'm going to pull after. All right. So now it came to pass at the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel. Salakia. All right. Now her royal apparel is just like what y'all are wearing right now. The garments, her sisters, the nice, beautiful dresses, and looking nice. All right. Not them lashes that you put on, and listen. Also, Yashamaf is not against lashes. All right. He's not against lashes. You can wear some lashes, sis. All right. But some of those lashes are quite extreme, sis. All right. Them lashes are like, you blink a few times, just take off. You may not, you know what I'm saying? Wear lashes, sis, but goddamn, sis, who are those girl toys? The Kirby's or Furby, what they look like? You remember those things back in the day? Them Kirby toys, that's what they look like. Some little Kirby toys. I know you don't know. I had I had 4 sisters. They had these little Kirby toys or whatever with the beaks and stuff, and they used to flutter. Your sisters know. There you go. Yeah, that's what they look now. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But continue. Go ahead.
And stood in the inner court of the king's house.
There we go. All right.
Over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Over against the gate of the house.
Now, of course, this is explaining where the king was and where he's at in the house. He's sitting on his throne because, he's a king. He has a throne. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And it was so, when the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight.
Because naturally, here's the thing. Sometimes, and some of y'all women, y'all may think that y'all beautiful, all right? Y'all women are extremely beautiful, all right? No matter how skinny, no matter how big, all right, you are a beautiful woman. And understand, just by the look of you, you just gain favor in our eyes. If women just understood how much power they really have, all right, they can get anything that they want. And they do, as long as they're feminine, all right? To teach y'all something, women who are not feminine and they want to be those, damn, I wish I was raised better. Those HOEs and those 304s and those Salakia, what I'm saying? I had terrible great parents. You're not gonna get treated well. All right? You're not gonna get treated well. Those kind of women don't get treated well at all. I mean, they're the main ones who are crying and they're lonely at night. All right, they're so goddamn alone that their room sounds like a barbershop at night. But whatever. Continue.
And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter.
Go ahead. So he held out the scepter. Now that scepter is what the king had. All right, and the king had that scepter, and that scepter meant a lot to that king. If he, that scepter, to give y'all, make sure y'all put this in the notes. This scepter was life or death. I want y'all to understand that scepter to that king was life or death. All right, make sure y'all put that in your notes. That scepter is life or death. The sister said, so no BBL. No BBLs. You don't, no BBLs. All right. You don't have to go get no BBLs, sis. You're perfectly fine. All right. It's fake anyway. You know. What is it? Plastic?
So, Lockie, if I could,
go ahead.
We talked about this the other night in class, how she started getting all that, the BBLs and all that work done, trying to look like our sister.
Exactly.
And then our sister started following Shesaw, and then that just looks terrible.
It does. It looks. Oh my God, it looks terrible. And I'll be trying to listen. I don't know what it is. It's always some skinny sisters that just want to be thick for some odd reason. First things first. I don't know if anyone knows, but black women naturally have a shape. You know what I'm saying? No matter how big or how small, y'all just have a shape. It's just how the Lord blessed us, whatever the case is, you know, whatever. You don't have to get a BBL. We don't care about that. All right? As long as you have children, as long as you have whatever the Lord gave you between your legs, you're fine. That's really all that matters. That's a beautiful thing the Lord blessed y'all with. And blessed us. Who we? You know what I'm saying? Everything else don't matter. You know, I be telling sisters all the time. I said, there's too many sisters out there that claim like they're ugly, but they having kids. You know what I'm saying? You know the sisters with, listen. I remember I seen one sister. She got I guess the big belly up front and then like no rear end at all. She got 3 kids. Why? Because maybe that never mattered. maybe it never mattered. I mean, I don't know.
Somebody like this.
Like it. All right, that's just what it is. You know, I love how sisters be like, oh, wow, you know what? Continue. So go ahead.
It's like I'm gonna start back a little bit.
Come
And the king held out the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter.
Go ahead. So now she was able to touch the scepter. All right, because once again, this scepter is important to this king. That scepter is life or death. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Then said the king unto her, what wilt thou, Queen Esther? And what is thy request?
So he's asking what's his request, because of course, this is her husband at the time, this is the king. He wants to, do anything that she requests. All right, go ahead.
I like it. It shall be given thee to the half of the kingdom.
So now it should be what?
It shall be given thee to the half of the kingdom.
You're missing one word right there. It shall be given to the. Should be another word in there. It shall be even. Doesn't it say that? It don't say that. You say even? What Bible you reading up? You reading King James?
It's there. I promise you it's there.
Oh, it's there in your Bible?
It is.
Oh, yeah, don't sweat.
I kept skipping over it.
You said repeatedly. You didn't want to say even.
I was convinced I was right.
No sweat.
So like you said, if I could.
No sweat, come on, go ahead.
It shall be even given thee
God.
to the half of the kingdom.
Both sides. So even given. So now this thing, even puts emphasis on that given to the kingdom, all right? That's just what it is. All right, go ahead. That's how powerful this request was going to be. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And Esther answered, if it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him.
So now there's a banquet that Esther prepared. Now, there's a reason why there was a banquet that Esther prepared is going to be given to y'all later into the class. I promise you. All right, I'm not going to spoil it. If anyone has been in the Feast of Purim already, it's probably already spoiled. All right, but this might be a new story for some, a new, an old story for most. But we about to find out. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Then the king said, cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther had said. So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared.
Now remember, the king sent for Haman. He said, listen, this is what Esther wants. This is what Esther's going to get. All right? Remember, the moment she walked in, there was this favor in this man's eyes for her. She can get whatever she wants. Because once again, she's beautiful, she's feminine, and she's not like Basti. She follows orders. She's not like Basti, who doesn't want to listen to her man. All right? Hint, hint. Hint, sisters. Goddamn. You want to get what you want. Listen. All right? You know, you have a better chance. You know, go ahead.
Come. Verse 6. And the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition?
So now, at the banquet of wine, now the banquet of wine this is the Esther's feast, this is the banquet of going on, and he's asking her, you know, what do you want? Go ahead.
Come. And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? Even to the half of the kingdom it shall be performed.
So whatever she wants, even half of the kingdom is going to perform it. He's letting you know, whatever you request, whatever you petition, even the kingdom, half the kingdom is going to do it. You understand? This is how much this king is infatuated with Esther. Go ahead.
Come, verse 7. Then answered Esther and said, my petition and my request is.
Go ahead. So now she's about to say what her petition and request is.
Come, verse 8. If I have found favor in the sight of the king.
Now she said, if I found favor. She's not saying I know I found favor, right? She's saying if I have found favor, because Esther is humble. All right. What you want as a sister is to be humble. All right. Just as much as brothers are to be humble as well. And listen, here's a piece of advice for brothers as well, again, right? And you know, and sisters, please pay attention to as well. Any good leader, right? Because your husband is the leader and your man is the leader. Any good man or any good leader will tell you to do something that he will do also. You understand? That's what a good leader will do. A good leader will never tell you anything that he wouldn't do also. And I want y'all to understand that. For an example, if I tell my rib to, let's say, shut the hell up, right? Let's say it like that. I tell my rib to shut the hell up. That's because I know how to shut the hell up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. If I tell you to do this, it's because I know how to do this. If I say obey me and follow my orders, that's because I obey and follow orders. This is why women are terrible leaders. They don't do what they want someone else to do. They don't do it. You expect your kids to be quiet and not do anything, but you loud as hell. Well, that don't make sense. What good leader are you at this point? All right. Now, that's just pay attention. All right. It's not an attack.
Okay.
All right. But I want you to learn from that. If you want to be an example, all right, learn from that. As a sister, as a woman who's a mother, be an example to your kids. If you want your kids to do something, well, you have to do it too. As a father, if you want your kids to do something, then you're going to have to do it too. I hate that saying. Oh, what was that saying? My dad used to say it all the time. My mom, for sure. What's that saying? Go ahead.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Oh, I hated that. Oh, God, I hated that. Oh, I despise that saying. To this day, I'm just like, nah. You know what I'm saying? I remember I told y'all the story. I remember my pops. He was such a terrible dad, and I love him. But he's good. He was a good dad. He was a good dad. He was just in the world. All right. I love my father. All right. But the terrible thing that he would tell me is, you know, he never stopped me from doing the terrible stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing. He would tell me how to we lied. Never mind. Here's the thing. All right, just don't. You know what I'm saying? What they say? What stopped me from being great? The Fed. Go ahead and continue.
Sir.
Just know we changed our lives back then. All right,
You know what I'm saying?
We changed our lives for the Lord. Go ahead.
And if it please the king to grant my petition,
Go ahead.
to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king has said.
So she's saying tomorrow, as long as Haman and the king is there, then I will give you my request. That's what she's saying. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 9. Then went Haman forth that day joyful and with glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not,
Go ahead.
that he stood not up, nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai.
So now, because there was an event that happened, all right? Because, Mordecai, right, he did not, I believe he didn't stand up or bow for Haman. One of those things, I believe you can find that in chapter 4-3. He didn't either stand up or bow for him. And of course, did y'all ever give me, y'all didn't, y'all never gave me Haman and his ethnicity. For time's sake, he's Amalek. All right, Haman is from Amalek. All right, put that in your notes. All right, you want to put that in your notes. Haman is Amalek. And Amalek is the so-called who? Anybody? Raise your hand. Go ahead.
So-called Jewish man.
That's a Jewish man, meaning that's our oppressor. Them hook-nosed, I don't know if I can say that anymore. Salakia. I'm about to get everything Salakia. I'll take the fine later. All right, so here we go. All right, those Jewish people wearing yarmulkes and doing those weird dances, that's Amalek. All right, that's who Amalek is. You have you got different kinds of Amaleks. They got the ones wearing the black and the white with the yarmulkes. Then you have the ones that wear colors and also yarmulkes. There's all kind of Jewish people out there. Some just don't do it at all, and they're all in Hollywood, like your Zuckerbergs, and your Mark Wahlbergs. You know what I'm saying? He's Jewish as well. There's other Jewish people out there. You'll know when you see them. All right, by their names. They got some German last names, but that's who. So I can put yeah, right. You want to be specific. Amalek, and he's the so-called Jewish man. All right, and now what is so important? Why is it important? What's the history between Amalek and the Israelites? Anybody know? For time's sake, I can give it to y'all, but y'all want to give it a shot? Sister enough?
They claim to be Jews.
Well, that is a problem today. That is true. Back then, Amalek was not trying to claim to be Jewish, to be a Jew, but that is true. Today, that is a problem. Anybody else? But that is true. Repeat the question. The question is, what's the history behind Amalek and the Israelites?
When we left Egypt, I believe we were trying to pass through their land,
Mm-hmm.
and they wouldn't allow it.
Okay, and what else? There's more to that. You're on to it. Because there's more than one nation that didn't allow us, but there's something that Amalek specifically did. Anybody? Does anybody recall? So I give, what time is it? 8:26. I should be. I may have to give it to y'all for time's sake so I can get through the rest of the lesson. Y'all want to give it? I need to give it to y'all. All right, no sweat. All right, Amalek attacked us from behind, and they killed the elderly and the children and things like that. All right. And that was the most terrible thing, all right? And of course, the Lord was against it, all right? And, and the Lord was so against it, he even ordered King Saul to destroy all the Amalek, all right? All right, exactly. Now, it came to y'all memory.
It's a lot, yes, sir. Now remember, that's
remember?
when King Saul did not destroy everything up,
right?
Which is how he lost the most
right. Faith. By not following orders like Basti. There we go. And King Saul, he had a demon on him, and, he was like, I did what you did, but I brought women and children back with me and all that other type of stuff. And the Lord said, this is not what I ordered you to do. I ordered you to do everything else. All right. You lost your Gadar hand. That's true. That's correct. So, yeah, they attacked the Israelites from behind, our people way back when. And the Lord was against it. King Saul was supposed to destroy them all, and he did not. And that's why Amalek exists today. And why he's buying up everything. Like there's a reason why Amalek should be destroyed. Even I can say Hitler, right? I can say Hitler. There's a reason why Hitler wanted to unalive all the Jewish people. Not saying that it's right. All right, I'm not. Well, he went about it the wrong way, but I understand. Just know I understand. You know what I'm saying? I understand. I get it. And if you did not know, Amalek is really such a disgusting, our oppressor in general is disgusting. But Amalek in particular, that's the reason why those explicit videos and websites exist is because of Amalek. And that's what they were doing in Germany. You know how Amalek owns all the banks and the money and the resources now? Well, that's what they were doing in Germany, and Germany was being oppressed. And Hitler saw that. All right, there's a book you can read if you want. If anyone reads books, I like to read books at times. It's good. It'll expand your vocabulary. So do it. All right, there's a book called Mein Kampf. All right, written by Hitler himself. Yep, it's written by Hitler, and he explains everything. All right, and Hitler also knew who the real Jews were as well. You can look that up in history. Hitler didn't know who real Jews were, and he knew that it wasn't those people. He knew that, and that's why he was doing the things that he was doing. Now, it wasn't right. I understand.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, continue reading.
All right. Verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself.
Mm-hmm.
And when he came home, he sent and called for his friends.
Right.
And Zeresh, his wife.
All right, so now, nevertheless, all right, Haman refrained himself, meaning he refrained himself from doing whatever he wanted to do at the time and moment, and just went back home, got his friends, and got his wife, and all the other type of stuff, all right? Because he was angry at Mordecai for not, because Mordecai did not, okay, there we go, I missed that point. Mordecai didn't bow or stand up for him because Mordecai knows his history. I want y'all to put that into your notes as well. All right, Mordecai knows his history. Precept that with the ask your fathers and things like that. You want to precept it with that. The precept that you pull in the history class, precept it with that as well. All right, how important it is to know the generations that come before you, the history and things like that, because that's why Mordecai did not bow or stand up for Haman. Go ahead.
So like, sir, is that almost? I'm relating it to what would happen nowadays. Like,
okay.
If I want to say a brother, but if somebody rode up on you that you didn't respect or whatever, you just kind of wouldn't acknowledge it.
It was okay.
Is that kind of the same?
Not okay. Put it this way. It was almost like, for an example, you knew that such and such, let's say you knew such and such killed your grandfather, and his family still exists on the earth. And let's say that I'm the Jones and they're the Jeffersons, and you knew the Jeffersons, killed the Jones. You don't rock with the Jeffersons no more.
Right.
And so even in 2024, I don't rock with the Jeffersons. I know what y'all did to my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm not cool with that. That's what that is. You know what I'm saying? And that's how important history is, and how important it is to raise up a child. Like, for an example, I was raised by my grandfather for a short time. All right, and he always raised me, because he grew up during segregation. All right, he grew up where our oppressor didn't treat a man as a man. All right, and just to let you know, this was yesterday. I want y'all to understand that this kind of treatment was yesterday. I want everybody to understand that. And so he would teach me every time. He'd be like, son, he would tell me, son, you stand up straight with your shoulders up. Now, of course, he would say, look the oppressor. He said, look the white man in his eyes, but he would say, look the oppressor in the eyes and shake his hand. He said, stand up straight and look him in the eyes. So forever, since I was 11 years old, I would look the oppressor in the eyes. And I want you to know why he taught me that. If you don't realize, I want y'all to check it out. When a white man passes you, watch if he looks you in the eyes. He doesn't. Look at even the white women, they're not going to look you directly in the eyes. When they look at you, they turn away. That's because they hate you. They despise you. All right? And so that's what my grandfather told me. He said, you look them in the eyes. And you shake their hands because you're a man. Because he wasn't treated like a man. He wasn't a man in the 60s. And magically, when everything came through, he still wasn't a man in the 70s or 80s. So he had to teach me how to be a man. That was his objective. So I can teach my sons to one day be a man. That's all. That's why it's important to know who your father is so your fathers can raise you up. Know your history. That's why Mordecai did not bow or stand up, because he knew who he was and he knew what Amalek did to him. And he looked Amalek in the eyes and said, no, I'm not going to bow or stand for you. Absolutely not. Because I know who you are. All right? Y'all get what I'm saying? Continue reading.
So like in verse 11. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children and all the things wherein the king had promoted him. Now,
Haman was, he was a good representative and a good chamberlain, all that type of stuff. And, the king gave him a little bit of rank and power and some promotions because, he was a good guy to the king. To the king, he was good, and he did his job right. Go ahead. And so he's telling his family about it. Just like any man will. you get a promotion at the job, you're gonna tell your wife and your kids about it. You know what I'm saying? And mistake to do so because then they're gonna start asking for stuff. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Come, and how he advanced him above the princes and servants of the king.
And so he's telling how great of a promotion I got, and I'm above this and I'm above that, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Listen, listen. I regret telling my daughter that I have a little bit of money for her. Listen, I regret it. My daughter said, "You got a little bit of money? Okay, cool." Listen, she's now 7 years old. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story, and I'm gonna get back to Esther. She's 7 years old, and she finally knows how to use apps on the phone. And so happily, being my daughter, she knows how to download an app called Sheen. I said, "What's Sheen?" I said, "What's Sheen?" I didn't know what Sheen was until my daughter let me know what Sheen was. And she was like, "Sheen is where you can buy stuff." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so this happened 2 days ago. I'm telling you, this is a true story. This happened 2 days ago. She's like, "I know a thing called Sheen." And so she was like, "I want this and that." And she was like, "Hey," I was like, "Okay, I'll get it for you." The total was $30. I'm like, "That's perfect." Listen, today the total is now $148.99.
Good.
What did you add?
Everything
I
on
said,
Sheen.
I told her to stop adding stuff. I said, you gotta teach Eve early to stop adding and buying stuff. I was like, "Geez." She was like, "Oh, I want this, I want that, I want this." I'm like, "Well, that may not have it all." But go ahead, continue.
That's right. Verse 12. Haman said, "Moreover, yea, Esther the queen did let no man come in."
Go ahead.
I'm sorry from the top.
Yeah.
Haman, verse 12. Haman said, "Moreover, yea, Esther the queen did let no man come in with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared but myself.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow am I invited unto her also with the king."
So now he's telling the story how he's invited and all that type of stuff. Giving the breakdown of what happened for today. Go ahead.
Nobody else got invited but me and the king, and tomorrow it's just gonna be me and him.
Well, not necessarily. So it's just so in this case, there is other people at the banquet, but for sure he's going to be there.
Come on.
All right, so he's just going to be there, particularly because this is what Esther wanted for a reason.
Come.
But go ahead.
But so what my point is, he's still bragging about it.
Yeah, he's still bragging about it, right? Exactly.
Come.
Okay, Salakia. Yeah, he's still bragging about it.
Come.
Go ahead.
Verse 13. Yet all this availeth me nothing.
Right.
So long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate.
Right. So now, of course, Haman he don't. Now, when it comes to Salakia, when it comes to Haman, he just wants Mordecai. It's like he has to have him. It's like he just wants him dead. He wants him unalive. He wants him gone. That's just what it is. All right. So he's like, like I said before, about when I talked about CeeLo, he can't sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? The sheets are running. You know what I'm saying? The same thing I have for CeeLo not being able to rap. And Salakia, y'all can, I understand. All right. I understand for y'all out there listening. Even though I say CeeLo can't rap, this is the same as much as Haman with Mordecai. He can't sleep at night until this brother gone. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm praying as much as Haman is praying that CeeLo don't rap again. All right? Salakia. We can talk about it later, but Salakia. Continue reading.
Okay, sir. Salakia. Verse 13. Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Then said Zeresh his wife and all his friends unto him, let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high.
So now this is a really high gallows, all right? 50 cubits. I believe a cubit is 30, if I'm not mistaken. If y'all can look that up, how much is a cubit? It could be more or less.
It's like 18 inches.
Is it? Okay, can someone give me a cubit? Yeah, go ahead and look up cubit for the brothers and sisters. I forgot what a cubit is. How much is a cubit? Sidebar for some of y'all young brothers and sisters in school. It's good to stay in school. All right? Cubit. This is in the Bible. Knowing how to do math is in the Bible. All right? Learn how to do your calculus and your pre-calc and your algebra, your geometry, your trigonometry. One day you'll get into Boolean algebra and all them good things. All right? strive to go to college. All right, get those aspirations. All right, college is important. Getting a degree is important. All right, but you know, getting a degree isn't everything. But go to school. All right, why not? I don't see the point of not going to school. All right, how much is a cubit?
Well, okay, so showing results. So what is the measurement of a cubit?
Mm-hmm.
It may have originated in Egypt about 3000 BC.
Okay.
It thereafter became the ubiquitous
Mm-hmm.
in the ancient world.
Okay.
The cubit, generally taken as equal to 18 inches.
There we go, Con, the water. So 18 inches. So what you would do, right, to understand the scripture, if 50 times 18, you want to know what 50 times 18 is? All right. We got calculators in our pockets now, teacher McWest. You said I wasn't going to have a calculator in my pocket. Well, here we are.
Nice.
No problem.
Let me see, right about 12. That's about 75 feet.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm doing that math.
75 feet.
So it's 900 inches. You divide that by 12. Right. To get your feet. So
You see, we can do math back here. So stay in school. Once again. So how much feet was it?
75 feet.
75 feet. Imagine a gallows 75 feet high. That's a high gallows. You wanted to see that brother hang. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to see that brother hang. Salakia, you know, he was out for Mordecai. He said, you know, he didn't say 30 feet, he didn't say 40 feet, he said 75 feet. That's pretty high, all right? That's pretty high. Go ahead.
And tomorrow speak thou unto the king that Mordecai may be hanged therein.
There we go, because he really wanted Mordecai. Now, of course, he also wanted all the Jews, all right? He wanted all the Jews. Now, at this time, the reason why I'm saying Jews, because at this time, Israel was already dispersed.
Okay.
All right. The Jews are the first three tribes that we know about. That's Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right. Now Levi is also within all the tribes as well, because Levi didn't have an inheritance. All right. Levi was the priesthood at the time. So you would find some Levites in Zebulun, or some Levites in Manasseh and Gad and all them other tribes, because they were there to take care of the people. All right. The priests were like the heart of our people. That's who protected our people. All right. The priests were also soldiers and warriors and going to war. That's why if you went into the temple of the Most High, there were swords, there were shields, there were things you can go to war with, because the Lord was a man of war. All right. So all that good stuff, just to let you know. But that's Judah, and Jew is short for Judah. Go ahead.
Come. Then go thou in merrily with the king unto the banquet.
Mm-hmm.
And the king pleased Haman, and he caused the gallows to be made.
So now he causes the gallows to be made. Now the gallows are being made, of course, for Mordecai to be hanged, because he just wants his brother to be hung. All right, because he didn't stand up or bow for him. That's how much disposition Haman had for Mordecai. All right, can't use that H word for too long.
Come.
I'm gonna take down the video. Give me Esther 7. We're gonna go to Esther 7 and 1.
Come.
All right. We're gonna get to the actual request to Esther for time's sake.
Come. This is Esther chapter 7, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
So the king and Haman came to banquet with Esther the queen.
Now the banquet is at this time the banquet is fully going, and Haman and the king is there. Go ahead.
Come, verse 2. And the king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition, Queen Esther?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it shall be granted thee.
Go ahead.
And what is thy request?
And
it shall be performed, even to the half of the kingdom.
So now he's asking for this request because he really wants to do something for his sister. All right, because of course he's infatuated with her. That's his wife. Not this, not that. That's what he wants. So he's asking again. All right, because he wants to make sure, because this is about her.
Okay.
All right, at least this feast that he's talking, this is about her. Not that. He's gonna do it for her. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 3. Then Esther the queen answered and said.
Also, just to let y'all know, sidebar, I gotta say it, all right? Just because Esther's a queen doesn't make you guys queens. Okay? I mean, Are we clear?
Most High Christ.
Do I gotta break that down for the brothers and sisters
I
out
mean, I
there?
don't know. I was like, it wasn't hurt.
I may. All right, no sweat. All right, as a sister, I know y'all may have think y'all queens and y'all this and that, and that's another man's culture. All right, that's another man's culture. A queen actually means something. All right, a queen actually means a 304. All right, the city girl. All right, that's what a real queen is. You can look it up, the origination of queen and where it comes from. Just put in your Google bar. The old way of calling a woman a queen is this. That's what a queen was. All right, it's not something to be proud of. We don't have queens back here. We have princesses. All right, our women are just as much royalty as a queen would be, but she doesn't have the status of a queen because a queen is someone in charge. All right, our women were never in that kind of position or in charge like that. Like your Queens Elizabeth and things like that. That's our oppressive culture. You got queens and all of that. That's none of that. All right, go ahead.
If I could, sir, it's so heavy because queens, to your point, are in charge of things. Princesses are taken care of by a man
and protected and all those other kind of things. Give the brother a hand. Absolutely. All right. And of course, in our customs, all right, you can. I guess you would have 9 or 10 queens. How can you have 10 or 9 queens? That's crazy. How can you have, whatever? No, that doesn't make any sense. You can have as many princesses as you want.
Come.
All right, you can have it. And so help me God. I'm not going to talk about it. Yes, a man can have more than one wife. Leave me alone. All right, just leave me alone. Go ahead. Continue, Boo Boo.
Come. If I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition.
It say what?
Let my life be given me at my petition.
Now, of course, once again, she's making a request. Now, to go up to the king, all right, it talks about, there's another, you might have to go into the editions of Esther, but there's that scepter that he has in his hand. And that scepter means everything. It's life or death. So she's saying the things that she's saying because it could be life or death, what she's asking for and how she's approaching it. All right, go ahead.
And my people at my request.
Go ahead.
Come, verse 4. For we are sold.
Say what?
For we are sold.
For what?
For we are sold.
Now, of course, Esther, I want you guys to understand, I should have said this in the beginning. All right, but we are in captivity at this time. Did I say that in the beginning? I don't think I used the word captivity. All right, I did not. The Persian Medes was a captivity for the Israelites. We're in slavery. The same thing that we're going through in America is what Esther and Mordecai is living right now. We are in slavery or in captivity at this time. Go ahead.
I and my people.
She said, I and my people. Now, I want you to understand this. Just like the same spirit Moses had, Esther had. She's in the king's house. She can get whatever she wants. She has the money that everyone's chasing, the bag. She has all that. She can get whatever she wants. But she still understands and never forgot that she is a Jew. That she is an Israelite. Make sure you put that into your notes. You understand? You want to remember that. She never forgot that. Go ahead.
To be destroyed.
To be what?
To be destroyed.
Because they're in the process of being destroyed. All right. This is talking about Haman wanting to not just hang Mordecai, but to unalive all of the Jews. All right. Amalek always wanted to unalive the Israelites, to unalive the Jews. That's what he wanted to do. Right. It's in his spirit. It's almost in his DNA. All right. There's a precept to that. From the womb, they are estranged. That's what the Bible talks about. From the womb, they are estranged. Go ahead.
To be slain and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue.
So now she's saying, now if we were going to be sold, now if the thing was about us being sold into slavery, then I would have held my tongue. I wouldn't have said anything. You know what I'm saying? Put that into your notes. All right. If this was about us being sold off, I wouldn't be here trying to get this petition or this request. I would have held my tongue. I would have said nothing. Go ahead.
Although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage.
But it said what?
Although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage.
Of course, the enemy could not countervail the king's damage. I mean, he wouldn't be able to succeed. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, Who is he?
Go ahead.
And where is he?
Go ahead.
That durst presume in his heart to do so.
So now she's saying, he's asking like, okay, who wants to do this to you? You know what I'm saying? Who's trying to unalive you? Who's trying to put you to, to rest? Who's trying to do this? Go ahead.
Verse 6. And Esther said, the adversary and enemy.
He said that adversary and enemy. Esther understood that she has adversaries and she has enemies. Like the Lord uses these words because he wants you to understand that as Black people, we have enemies and we have adversaries. And we need to understand that. Everybody understand? I want everybody to understand that. All right. We don't got friends. I know you love Rebecca. You love Rebecca. You love how Rebecca is, and Rebecca brings that what's that damn potato salad with raisins in it. I guess you love Rebecca so much. All right, but she's your enemy. She's your adversary. Them Skylers, whatever they're, the Gunthers. All right, those are your adversaries. They're your enemies. All right, Donald, y'all get it. All right, go ahead.
Lucky, the adversary and enemy is the wicked Haman.
The what?
The wicked this wicked Haman.
This wicked Haman. Haman. Haman was wicked. All right. That's because he's Amalek. He's our oppressor. All right. I want you to understand our oppressor has been in every nation. From the beginning of time, our oppressor, all right, has been in Egypt. He's been in what's it called? He's been in Egypt. He's been in the Persian Medes. He's been in the Babylon. Of course, he ruled the Greeks and the Romans. Like he's existed for a very long time. All right. So you'll find the skeletons and all the other type of stuff of our oppressor being in Egypt and being in Rome and all this stuff. Actually, second thought, just a sidebar real quick. We may go over time tonight. Okay. We may. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all got to go to slavery tomorrow, right? I do too as well. I don't care. Right. All right. It's a lot. I'm gonna get y'all home though. It's a good book to get. It's called Crania Egyptica. It's a good book to get. This actually lets you know that this was our oppressor, and they were scientists. And there came a point in time where everyone was calling Black people African, and they were from Egypt. And so our oppressor did the research to really see if they were from Egypt or if we were from Africa. And so happenly, all right, that's not what they found. Now, some oppressors did know who we were, all right, and some oppressors didn't. Well, these are the ones who really didn't. They wanted to really finalize who we were. Come to find out, this book will let you know, once again, Crania Egyptica, you can look it up, all right? Okay. And it lets you know that they found skeletons, right? And they studied the skeletal, right? Now, skeletons, that classifies as DNA, right? That's kind of DNA worthy. I think I went to school. Okay. You can't change skeletal, your skeleton. Okay. So that's a part of your DNA, your skeleton and your exoskeleton, all those type of stuff. That's a part of your DNA. All right. You're born with a certain skeleton, and there's different types of skeletons that you're born. All that good stuff. Okay. You can tell the difference between a male and a female through skeleton. Well, guess what? This book also lets you know that you can tell what kind of race you come from based on your skeleton, because this is science. Okay. Now I hate to use science, but even though science is is in the Bible. I hate to use science to prove my point, but for some of you conscious people, scientists did the study and it said that we were slaves in Egypt, actually. We were not the Egyptians, we were the slaves in Egypt. And who were recorded to be slaves in Egypt? Anybody? Go ahead.
Israelites.
Oh, go goddamn. Well, I guess the white man said we were Israelites. So why the hell are you keep saying that you're Egypt and you're Egyptian? Even the one you love so much and you bow down to them, unlike Mordecai, they're telling you you're an Israelite. But you turn around and say, Master, no, I'm not. I'm African. Master, I'm an Egyptian. You know what I'm saying? I'm Ufwe, whatever. And, I don't know. I don't know. I'm Yerushalayim. That's all I know. I'm not Ufwe, Ubatu, Chachimili, Moloku. I'm none of that. All right? I'm none of that. Go ahead. Continue.
Come on, sir. Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen.
Now, when all of this said, Haman started to shake. He's scared now. He's like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? I'm wicked in the king's eyes. Now, because he understood how much power Esther had with the king. You know what I'm saying? He understood. He's like, this is coming from Esther. I might be in trouble. Go ahead.
Come on, verse 7. And the king, arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to make request for his life to Esther the queen.
So listen, it said he went to who?
Salaki. And Haman stood up to make request for his life to Esther.
To who?
To Esther.
Did it say the king?
To Esther.
Did it say the king?
To Esther.
Well, goddamn. He said, Esther, please. He said, Esther, please. You know what I'm saying? He tried to change his life the last minute. Like any good white man would. He said, Esther, please. Well, go ahead.
Come. For he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king.
He saw it. He saw the face of the king. He said, Haman did what to my what? It's going down right now at the banquet. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 8. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine. And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was.
Right. Go ahead.
Then said the king, will he force the queen also Will he force the queen also before me in the house?
So he said, will you force the queen? So he's like, of course, he's pleading his case. And the king's like, wait a minute, you going to force my woman to do something that you want? Chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to do this. This is my house. This is, Haman. Listen, Haman just realized his life is gone. That's what he realized. It's over for Haman. All right? Go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Come. As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face.
They did what?
They covered Haman's face.
They did what?
They covered Haman's face.
They put a bag over that man. They said, we're going to get him out of here. He said, that's it. When they saw the king's face, they knew, said, that's it. You gotta go. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it for you, Haman. That was it. Listen. That's what the white man people do, right? That's what the white man does. He put a bag over your face and drag you out the room, and he'll slaughter you. That's it, because it was over for Haman. But go ahead.
So verse 9. And Harbona, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold also the gallows 50 cubits high.
Wait. Start that from the top. They said who?
Harbona.
Damn, Harbona had to add on to it. Go ahead.
Go ahead. And Harbona, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold, also.
He said, hey, yo, king, hold up. There's more. He already got Haman up out of there. And Harbona stood up and said, hey, there's more you need to know about this situation. Since we're here, since we're talking about it, and Esther brought it up, there's some gallows outside. Did you know about this? But go ahead.
Come. The gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai.
Damn, he snitching. At this point, he just snitching. He a snitch. But the Yahweh shy for him being a snitch, though. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
But go ahead.
who had spoken good for the king,
He say, who has spoken good for the king? Go ahead.
standeth in the house of Haman.
Go ahead.
Then the king said, hang him thereon.
He said, there we go. He said, thank you for letting me know this information. This is where we're going to hang him. Because of what he was going to do to the Jews. Read the next verse.
Verse 10. So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai.
Go ahead.
Then the king's wrath pacified.
Then the king's wrath was pacified. The king was so angry. Now, of course, there's more to the story. And I know we're coming up on time, so I'm going to have to end it. All right? And so, but I'll give a lesson to the brothers so they know how to teach it. All right? They're going to finish the story. And they have at least the foundation of it, Most High in Christ, but the king made sure Mordecai was unalive, right? I mean, it's like the king made sure Haman was unalive because of Mordecai, all right, and because of Esther, and because what Haman was going to do to the Jews and to the Israelites, because it was a heinous thing that Haman was going to do. Just like how, Amalek always wanted to do this. I want you to understand that Amalek, the spirit of Amalek, the spirit of our oppressor, wants you unalive. They don't want you to exist. They don't want it. That's why they do the things that they do today. Well, guess what? When Christ returns, one day, there's not going to be an oppressor on the face of the earth. They're going to be a thing of the past. We're going to have a museum of Donald Trumps and George Washingtons, and we're going to walk around and say, hey, that was a funny guy, man. You know what I'm saying? But, they all gone now. Remember they was picking out cotton 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying? They're gone. They not one exists. That's glorious. You understand? And by the way, I know some of y'all may not like it, but the earth would really be a better place if our oppressor did not rule it. You know what I'm saying? If blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians would actually rule the earth, it would be such a better place. We wouldn't pollute the waters. We wouldn't try to go out of space for what? Space. All right. All we need is what we have here that God gave us. All right. We wouldn't be, like I said, polluting the air, polluting the waters. The life would just be a lot cleaner. We wouldn't be unaliving so much the way we are. There would be no drugs, no unaliving, no nothing. Life would really be great. And I tell our press all the time, the reason why you hate America so much is because your people are in charge. If you put an actual black man in charge and we rule the way we rule, you would be well off. But because of your arrogance and pride is why it will never happen. All right. We're chosen to rule. That's why we are the way we are. We're actually a forgiving people because that's who we are by nature. That's how God made us. That's how God conditioned us. Okay. That's why we forgive so goddamn much. All right. Now, of course, we've been conditioned just to forgive them and not our people. But we are very forgiving and nice people. We know what's right and what's wrong. We know, hey, I don't think we should be doing that. Okay. We shouldn't be in the hills with the mountain lions. I don't know why we should be in there. I think less deaths in the mountains if we just stay out the mountains. You know what I'm saying? We were in charge. No one would get in the mountains. We were like, that's off limits, man. That's off limits, man. We're going to have a certain point, like, why are you swimming all the way out there, man? The beach is fine. Why are you all the way out there? Well, hey, man. What our oppressor will learn, but the only way he's going to learn is when Christ comes, returns. All right. With that, I pass the class to Officer Carson Paul with the announcements. You can you come up and read the announcements a lot. I have the announcements right here too. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have it right here. Yeah, I'm prepared. I'm prepared. Go ahead. All right.
These are the ISUPK security announcements.
You can stand right here too.
We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th St. Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. Okay. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'asherah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest, not mandatory, whichever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. It'll be the closing of the Feast of Purim tomorrow. Okay.
And then after that, we got that.
Okay, now, if anyone wants to be a trooper in school, start wearing your all black, boot, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. And I believe that concludes the security announcement. Wow.
And then give a courtesy salute to the brothers.
Okay. How about you?
Of course, Amadi. You say Amadi?
Madi. Understand.
Just like the type of yep.
Amadi Shabbat. Madi. Barak. Yahweh Shem Shabbat.
Yahweh Shem Shabbat.
Side, turn, salute sisters. Yahweh Shema.
Well, we gotta, yeah.
Amadi.
Well, sisters don't understand, but for us, Amadi Shabbat and Amadi, the same thing.
Okay, right. Amadi Shabbat. Amadi. Barak.
Yahweh
Shema Alatam Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shema, Yahweh Shai.
Yadam Tau is me.
What's on the cross?